Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Inter-School Esports Championship 2019, hosted by none other than K1.LK, your pioneers in esports in the country, and of course, powered by none other than the fastest broadband network, SILT Fiber. So this is qualifiers day number 2. We did have a really interesting qualifiers day number 1. We saw a lot of matches on stage. We had Dota 2, we had Call of Duty, but today we have a game that everyone loves. We had 200 plus registrations for it as well. We are going to be watching Fortnite. Do we have any Fortnite fans in the hall? Can I hear it, guys? Are there any Fortnite fans in the hall? That's not enough. Are there any Fortnite fans in the hall? Okay, one more time. That is just not enough. Are there any Fortnite fans in the hall? Much better, much better. So, without waiting any further, I'm going to be handing over the proceedings to Abdul and Azman, who's going to be taking us through the play-by-play here for the Fortnite matches that are happening right here at Stein Studios. This is the Inter-School Esports Championship 2019.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Fortnite.
About 3 qualifying matches done and dusted with, and there is a few more, actually quite a few more to be
Yeah,
played.
actually, like I wasn't expecting so many different people to come and play this game. To be completely
I
honest.
kind of was, but not at this game.
Yeah, I mean it's the first round, and there's so many players left. There's so many games to watch.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, if there was any more, we'd probably have to do a second qualifying round as well.
Yeah.
But luckily, I think we should be able to get the right amount of players
Yeah.
after the initial qualifier, and then, hopefully we'll see some really good Fortnite action today, because, I mean, a lot of these players are using controllers. More.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've seen more controller players than I've seen PC players.
That's
which
actually
is,
true.
Yeah,
Like,
which is very surprising, to be honest, because you don't really see it. I mean, I haven't seen it. I haven't really seen it too much, and all of them are really good. Even some of them are even better than players that are on PC.
yeah, I've seen a lot of people on the controllers just do what you're comfortable with. I feel like if you're really used to the controller and you can get those those sick builds, and that you can shoot really well with it, there's no reason to actually go to the keyboard if you like already put your roots into the controller.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, so think about Fortnite, right? When it initially came out, no one could really figure out what the game was like. If you saw someone who even built a 1x1, you're like, oh, this guy's playing the game.
He knows how to build, yeah.
He knows how to play the game, But now everyone, they need to know how to edit, they know how to position serve, how to tunnel, how to do 90s. Just because if you don't know 90s, you aren't considered a Fortnite player because 90s are the thing. Then obviously, being able to do all these cool connecting builds and edits and everything, and being able to edit through floors as well as roofs. I think they're called roofs. We call it roofs.
We'll call it roofs.
We call
yes.
it roofs. So basically, just to edit through all of that, doing it really fast and in a very fluid motion. And there's so many tips and tricks, and how you can like with the patch that came out as well. Like defensive players kind of took a hit. Because now, like, it's much easier to actually take control of the opposing player's box. Because those days we used to actually have this thing called turbo building.
Yeah.
And it would place the build almost immediately. So the player with the better ping would always be able to place his wall if you were higher ping than he was. But now they've changed it to where the more you keep placing it in the same place, the longer time it takes for you to place the next one.
All right. So it's like a little bit of a
so
nerve to people who keep staying under one
in one
sheet
in
of
the
cover.
1x1s.
Yeah.
So basically, the initial one is instantaneous.
Yeah.
The next one is after 0.5 seconds. The next one is after 1.5 seconds.
All right.
So like that, I mean, I'm not exactly sure about how the mechanics of that work, but you have a much higher chance as a higher ping player to take over that.
All right. So a little bit of a nerve to the defensive players who like to, hold their ground and wait for the perfect moment when they're reloading to, open and edit and maybe kill them with a sniper shot or something.
No, because before they actually brought the update,
Yeah.
it used to be this box fighting meta.
Yeah.
And it's close combat where you're basically in a 1x1 against your opponent. It's become, it's all zoomed in, so it's difficult to aim, especially if you're a controller player. Even as a PC player, having the mouse, having to like navigate these very tight corners is not easy, and just getting those, important headshots and just trying to connect with your shots in general is very difficult.
Yeah.
But it was a meta where, they wanted to break the meta, so they basically implemented that change. And because of that, you know, the way the game has been playing is much different now. Now we see a lot of long range, like long to mid range distance battles.
Fights, yeah.
Because, you know, even when someone is shooting through your wall, it becomes even more and more difficult to block the shots off. So you can actually take bullets to you while you're just, you know, trying to hold. Yeah, you're still holding down your wall, but bullets can leak in.
All right, and it's just you lose, you know, that valuable HP or the shield that you need to take a proper fight after that. And just talking about Fortnite in general now, they're adding so many updates, there's so many different things in the game. What do you think about the state of Fortnite right now?
The state of Fortnite right now, in my opinion, it's still, I think, you know, there's still a few, you know, things that they need to tweak. Because most of the time, the thing about Fortnite is they cater mostly to the casual players.
Yeah.
So in a competitive setting, it's not at the most optimal in terms of, you know, where it could be.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a casual player standpoint, you know, they are getting everything that they want, you know, because they want to be able for anyone who plays the game to be able to win.
Okay.
But when you take a competitive standpoint, there are a lot of very questionable items in the game, which makes it very difficult to play. So because of that, you know, the state of Fortnite right now, depending on what you want to do as a casual player, it's a very enjoyable game. It's very different. The whole concept of having to build your own cover, I think, is like probably the thing that broke Fortnite open.
Yeah.
Because every other game, you always use cover. You use a tree, you use a rock, you use whatever landscape you have there. But in this, it doesn't matter whether you run in the open. You can always protect yourself. You always have that power to be better than the other person. You won't have to feel powerless by the way you position yourself.
Yeah, and of course, at this event, we have a set of rules for Fortnite. I'm sure you know what they are.
Yeah, so the rules currently is because we'll be playing with about 15 players in one lobby. Because of that reason, the only time that players can actually take a fight is after the second zone closes.
Right.
So basically, there'll be an initial zone where you'll have to head after you finish your looting period. So at the initial point where you jump from the bus, you can go wherever you want, you can loot, and you have to head on over to the circle because you don't want to die in the storm. So that will be, when that closes and the next circle reveals, that is considered as the second circle.
Right.
So when the second circle storm closes and they show you to the third circle is when you can start fighting.
All right.
And with that, the last thing, actually there's a few more technical aspects, but so one of them is, the most important thing is not to use the brutes. So
All right.
brutes are a robotic, mechanical machine in the game, which gives players a very, very, very huge, significant advantage.
All right.
So, you know, because of that reason, it's been removed. No one can use it, and if anyone even gets into a brute, they have grounds to be disqualified.
All right. So then there are certain rules here, so hopefully all the players abide by them. And it's not easy to always make this a super competitive game because of how it's built. But obviously, Fortnite being a super high-skill game, just the fact that you have to build so efficiently and you have to save mats, do you think the time it takes for the storm to get all the way to after the second storm closing, you said, do you think everyone will have probably the same amount of mats, the same guns? What do you think about that?
No, so it depends, right? So if you are in one side of the corner of the map, and I am in the side with 5 other players,
Yeah.
I will have to build to defend myself once that the third circle starts.
Yeah.
So which means I need to use mats to defend myself.
Okay.
Whereas you can just run into the circle.
All right.
So that way you are maintaining 900, 900 and 900 material, while I might be maybe around 400, 900 and 900.
Okay.
Which gives you actually a significant advantage. And just knowing how to read the situation and not building unnecessarily is going to help you get really far in the game for sure. So, you know, I've watched a lot of pro players, I've seen them, how they play, and even in Sri Lanka we have Tenuka, who you and me both watch actually, so we know how the technicalities of playing in a very, very high skill competitive state is, and how important it is to make sure you save your mats.
Yeah.
Because if not, there are going to be like 5 people just hiding in one by ones after them position themselves much better. So something that Tenuka always says is always try to be the first person who gets into the zone. Because then, while everyone else is rotating, you can take shots and no one can actually pressure you because everyone is focusing on getting into the zone.
Yeah.
Which gives you that advantage. And it's true in any Battle Royale game, whether it's PUBG or Fortnite, even for Apex. If you can get in the zone and someone is running and he can't turn around because the storm is behind him and he does like 10 damage per tick, you don't want to run into the storm.
That's true.
So it's either you run into the storm and anyway risk there, or run into the zone and still risk that.
Yeah, and also there's so many different guns in the game. There's so many different weapons. So what do you think right now the meta is with the weapons?
I mean, anything that has a high fire rate is really good. I would prefer the tack over the pump over the tack. Just because that you have that ability to just kind of, ADS and get that 200 damage headshot and just insta-kill someone. It's the only gun in the game that right now that allows you to do that. But you'll be really good at your aim, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and usually you do want to run an SMG with an AR. So then, you shoot your pump and you switch into SMG and you start spraying. And like I said, with that new change to how you can take control of the wall, the bullets will always spray through and the SMG has a much higher fire rate. So you can actually deal a decent amount of damage while they're hiding in that box, while you're pressuring them, because not many people think about going through the other side, because if you fail your edit and you don't edit properly, that means you're not defending yourself, which means all the bullets are anyway going to leak through and you're going to die. So most of the time, most of the players will be holding down that turbo build or putting down a set of stairs or stairs in between them, so that way they have some sort of breathing room. Yeah. And then maybe edit out of the top or from the back, depending on where they want to go.
Right. So then also there's obviously a difference in early game and late game in Fortnite, where the late game is super strategic compared to the early game. What do you think the players should bring to the table? Because basically they're going to be starting in the late game, right? Since they're in the last circle. So what do you think they should be bringing to the table in terms of strategies?
So it depends. Everyone has their own style.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like running both the SMGs and the ARs, but most players who play at a high level will be extremely comfortable just running one shotgun and an AR.
Okay.
So that way you have one slot for utility or two slots for utility, that's how we want to play it, and one slot for heals. Otherwise you see two slots for heals, which by what I mean by heals is usually shields. So mini shields and as well as the splashes, which are really convenient and easy to use. It's really fast, so it's really great in a pinch, so something like that. So usually you don't want to carry around charge jugs, because in the late stages of the game you won't find 15 seconds of breathing room to just kind of use it even. Yeah, so because of that, it's very inefficient to actually carry around. It's a waste of inventory space, in my opinion. But if you're a good enough player to pull it off, then by all means.
I mean, I've seen few late games and you don't have even 5 seconds to do anything. You're either targeted by someone, or you want to target someone, you want to rush someone, you want to defend against someone, you want to build higher, or you want to go lower. It's so many different ways to deal with the last circle, because the circle will be moving too, right?
Yeah, there'll be a moving circle, and at the end it will close out completely. So even picking up stuff like campfires is going to be huge in that end game, because you can just put it down and heal through the storm while everyone else is taking loads and loads of damage. But I think something that is very, very underutilized from what I've seen so far. So from the games I've watched, the most underutilized things are the mobility items that are in the game. So jump pads, shock waves, those things are super important, because even junk rifts at the end game, where people are like hiding in one by ones. You can abuse that. You can just throw a junk rift onto it. It just insta kills anyone, or at least there's a ton of damage. Even if you try to run away, you can still take a ton of damage. So it's it's something that pressures players into making something that they're not comfortable doing. It's like you make a split-second decision, because if you're even 1 second late on making that decision, you're going to die.
Yeah, and also, what helps us not get late on that 1 second decision, Osman?
What?
SLT fiber.
Definitely, I think it gives you that perfect ping, low latency to make those quick decisions that you need in the game to make sure you escape that junk rift.
Yeah, it has one of the best latencies, the lowest pings you can ever have in Sri Lanka. Having 40 ping helps so much in these games. A lot of people that aren't in the gaming scene don't really realize how much of a benefit it is to have such a low ping in games, because they haven't really, played the game and found out like when you play the game casually, you don't really see the differences. But when you start playing it competitively, you see the tiny differences, like you 1 second missed by hiding behind a wall where you knew you could have turned it and won a team fight or won a gunfight. This low ping really helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain situations where when you have really high ping, you're like, okay, he shot me, I'm 10 HP, I'm hiding behind the wall, but suddenly you die. And you're like, oh, this guy's hacking, or this guy's using some sort of cheat. But in actuality, he's actually shot you and killed you. But in your screen, because your ping is so high, it only registers after you move in behind the cover.
Yeah.
So because of that, there are certain issues like that. So SLT takes away all of those problems. So we're super happy that they're on board to make sure that everything goes smoothly.
And we also have our gaming headset partner, HyperX.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was just on stage and as you know, like talking to some of the kids who are taking part for the Fortnite as well, and they were like, oh, these headsets are amazing, these are really good quality headsets, and the moment you put it on, they can't even hear you. As a ref, we were informing them these are the rules, and he was just playing because he couldn't hear me. And that having that kind of quality, knowing exactly where your opponents are going to be, whether RPG is coming, whether junk rift is coming, all these sound cues are super important. So just having HyperX as our headset partner is crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty good, and I think we're going to get into the game here. You can see the players are going to be jumping off the bus right now. So, where's an ideal place to land, you think?
So,
in this
I mean, it depends on, your personal preference and what kind of loadout that you're looking for. So, a lot of people, right now there's about 15 people. So, you actually have quite a few options. Because if it was 100 people in a custom lobby, then your landings can completely be different.
It's 20
it could be some, rural area or something like that. And now with the new changes to the map as well, there's a lot of options. So these are usually the creative areas. So these change every week or month depending on the new creators. Then you obviously have the ice area where there's actually quite a decent amount of loot. Some people can always opt to go to Tilted Town, and you know that they really can't do anything wherever you go because you are not allowed to shoot anyone in the first 2 zones.
Yeah.
So that gives you a lot of time to just loot up, and even if someone is there, you can always just loot with them. It doesn't really matter because they can't really contest for any of the loot. If you are there first, it's yours.
They can always steal your loot though.
I mean, you can try, but so that's the cool thing. So the thing about the airdrops in this game, so I'm pretty sure all of you know that there are airdrops in Fortnite. It's basically a package that is dropped from the sky.
Yeah.
In this game,
the sky.
of course, the sky. It's like a stock delivering babies.
Yeah.
Just dropping down the airdrops. So the first player to actually make it there and build is the person who will get the airdrop.
So as soon as they build around it, on top of it. Right, so they've just built around it and
yes,
it's there.
They build around it and it's completely there. So if anyone else tries to build on top of it, before the 2 circles obviously.
Right.
After the 2 circles have closed, you can always pressure.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just looking at what he's got the new grapple gun. So how does this gun really work? So
this grappler is actually really good to create distance. Like I said, it's one of those utility items that gives you a lot of mobility to rotate into the zone. So the cool thing about this grappler is the previous one, you grapple, you fling yourself, you land on the ground. But in this, you grapple, you fling yourself, and you get Batman wings, and you can glide to the ground.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, actually. So there is like this new Batman interaction with Fortnite, so that's something that Fortnite does really, really well actually, and something that a lot of people enjoy. I mean, I'm not sure whether you've heard, Marshmello actually had his concert inside of Fortnite.
Yeah, I watched it on stream. It was pretty cool.
So those things are actually, extremely cool, and you don't really see it anywhere else. And it was the first time that something like that has ever been done in any sort of game.
Yeah.
So the game creating history, and that's that's a testament to that huge player base that Fortnite has. I mean, just in Sri Lanka, Shashika mentioned we had over 200 registrations for the games, and so that itself shows you how popular this game is. And the best part about it is it's not easy to play.
Yeah, it is not. Like, if you're a skilled player, you are like miles ahead from the normal average casual player. Whereas there's a few games where if you join the game, there's not enough skill that you can put into the game to actually become one apart from the rest of the crowd.
That's the thing, right? So to be even average at Fortnite, you need to put in at least 40 to 50 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's not a little.
It's not a small amount.
Yeah, it's not a small amount. Like if you think about games like Dota that have been there for so many years now, they're like tens of thousands of hours, as our own Sashika has around 15,000 hours.
Yeah, close to 15,000.
Close to 15,000 hours on Dota.
It's not clear, right?
Not too sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but the thing about Fortnite is it's just about muscle memory.
Alright.
So just making sure your fingers get used to the motions, knowing exactly. So the thing about situations, about how you play in the late game, in the early game, that all comes with experience.
Yeah.
So for that, you'll need to have, the more hours you have, the better you're going to be at it.
Exactly.
As long as you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for building, of course, you can actually pick it up quite fast as long as you keep drilling it into your body every single day, you can actually pick it up quite fast. So even for me, like I used to play Fortnite quite often, and then I kind of lost touch with it, and then I just got back into it a little while ago, and I still got it. But it just took me like a few hours of just running, making sure that my
your fingers need
my
to
fingers
remember.
Yeah, so once I remembered, it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I still got it.
I get it.
Yeah, so from there, game sense is a different story.
Yeah, so then to become good at this game, you just need to put in a lot of practice and a lot of work. And here we see the trophy.
It's actually so amazing from that wide angle, and I just love the red effect that he has with the silver bars. I think, I would definitely fight for this trophy.
Yeah, that trophy is pretty sick. I would honestly like to lift that up. At the end.
Definitely. I think
Sadly, we're too old. It's Inter-School.
Sadly, it's Inter-School,
Sadly,
exactly.
yeah, we won't be able to do that in this lifetime, but hopefully at a turn. But so many kids have the opportunity to do what we like. Doing something for the younger generation feels so good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the start of a legacy.
Yeah.
Or, start of something that is, is going to be there for years and years.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just take, their traditions like big matches in schools where, schools go up against their rival teams, and some of them have gone on for 100 years. Some of them have gone up for 70 years, and then, we can start that with esports in schools as well.
Yeah, and we can see the controller players here. I always like the different colored controllers. They always looked really good to me. Like, I don't like the white and the black. It's so normal. And then you come to these tournaments and you see people bring their fancy controllers with cool grips and everything. It's pretty cool. Like, I never thought you could get fancy controllers until I actually looked it up, because I knew there were like keyboards and mice, but then I never knew the console part of it.
No, that's the thing, right? So, like, just like you and me enjoy having our, gaming peripherals, like, for example, the HyperX headsets, personally, but, all those peripherals are just like that. It's there for controller players as well, some things which have really cool graffiti painted on them, otherwise, some sort of really cool print. Some people like having the army cameo on their PS4, some of them like having their favorite anime character, some of them like having their favorite movie character. There's so many things that they can actually have. So with that, that's why, all this customization, I mean, sometimes it's really cool to have something like that, but usually the controllers don't really change in terms of, what it does.
I mean, there's a difference here. Like, okay, there's an argument here where Xbox controllers and PS controllers. What do you feel is better?
So it depends. If you're playing on console, I prefer the PS4 controllers. I'm not a huge fan of Xbox controllers because most of the time I'm more of a PS person. Because from the time I've been gaming, I've mostly played on PC and the PS.
Okay.
From the PS1, obviously, PS1 to PS2 to PS3 to PS4, that has been like my go-to console. So because of that, I'm very biased towards the
Because
PS4.
I'm an Xbox guy. I was the same as you. I had the PS1, I had the PS2, and PS3, but I got the Xbox controller, and then it just changed everything because it fits your hand, and it just feels like you can aim a lot better with it, in my opinion.
The thing for me about Xbox controllers, and this might sound weird, but the main thing that kind of put me off from the Xbox controllers was just the fact that the joysticks aren't, parallel.
Yeah, so that's what makes it good.
No, it does not. it kills OCD.
Okay.
Just
Just
like,
for
when
OCD.
it's parallel, you're like, okay, this makes sense. But, when you have the controller on where the arrow keys should be and the arrow keys where the controller should be, it's like, what?
Yeah, okay. Okay, a little bit of a tangent, but going back into the game, this player has picked up quite a few items. Why don't you tell me a bit about these items that he's picked up?
So, the shotgun I don't think is the most optimum one. It does about 175. It has a better fire rate than the pump, but then most of the time players who are good tend to switch it out. So, having one shot and being able to make it count is the most important thing. So, if you're not comfortable with, you know that you missed your initial shots, so you need to something that fires even more faster and you want that close range burst damage, then I feel like the legendary pump that he has tack he has picked up is kind of worth it. But the SMG is definitely a given. It's an old SMG that was there in Season 1, 2 of Fortnite, which is very nostalgic actually. It's actually a very, very accurate and very strong SMG if you know how to aim and control your tracking.
Right.
So the SCAR, with the suppressed SCAR, I'm not too sure. I actually like the normal SCAR. I like the sound of it better. Yes, those things
Sound
actually
of it?
matter. The sound
The
of it
sound
is actually
of the
better.
SCAR matters.
Yeah. So this is obviously suppressed, so because of that it's kind of silent. But even then, so far he has a mobility option, he has a heal option as well, which I really like. Slurps are really nice, it takes 1.5 seconds to consume, and I think every second it heals you for about 15 to I think 15 HP, if I'm not
15?
mistaken.
I thought it was 25. But
Okay, so 25 is really a lot.
too much? Okay, my bad. I'm not a Fortnite guy.
Because it's 100, right? So 15
Okay.
makes more sense.
Alright,
Because it heals up to 75 on both. So you can heal both the shield and the health at the both at the same time.
So it's pretty good.
So it's about
in the end,
75, so that's 150 in total.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Is it better than like the tiny shields that you get?
Mini shields are also great, but they only replenish shields. So it's good in a pinch where you can't really, because most of the bandages and the med kits take quite a decent amount of time to actually, even the bandage takes about 2.5 seconds, which is a long time.
Yeah.
But the minis are just like 1.5 seconds.
No,
Okay, you
minis
have
are like
25 shield.
immediate now, right? I think they
not exactly immediate, but not as immediate as the slurps are.
yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
slurps, but what's better than both of that is actually the splashes. But
Yeah.
I think you're only limited to about 4 splashes if I'm not mistaken.
So how much does the splash do?
So the splash is literally just, it's like a grenade, you throw it on the ground and it heals you for 25 each.
25, 25. Oh, okay. So wait, if you can get 4, you can just heal to 4?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. I didn't think that was in the game. Okay, that's pretty cool.
But I might be mistaken because thinking about it right now, it kind of sounds overpowered.
sounds
so
pretty OP.
it might be just the health.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be just the health and not both.
Alright.
So like once your health is full, then you'll start healing shields.
Okay, and then what's the 5th item is picked up?
So you're talking about the shockwaves.
Yeah.
So the shockwaves are actually probably the best items to make any sort of play in this game right now, because in those situations where the last zone is closing in and you know that your opponent is below you and you are right above him, you have a health advantage over him, but you can't get down to him to stop him from using all his heals.
Yeah.
So you look up, you make sure you build a roof over your head. You throw the shockwave on the top of you and it actually breaks through all the buildings and shoots you all the way to the bottom. You don't take your basically fall damage immune during that, so which means you can just get all the way down, surprise the other player because he won't be expecting it, and just pump him in the face.
Okay, and we're watching Akita Pereira, I think, right now, and right now he doesn't have full mats. He has only 754 wood and 878 brick. Now, do you think he should head towards the center and set up a base or something, or should he get the mats?
I think he needs to take his time. I think this is still the first zone it's actually the second zone that's closing. So he needs to get into a very good position, because from this moment on you can actually fight. And given the state of his match, I feel like he's prioritized too much time looting that area. It's a huge area. You just need to get what you want. If you get anything additional, maybe look for a little bit more ammo, and then from there you're fine. Because mats are super important in this game. And right now he's kind of wasting a decent amount. So what Tenuka really likes to do in this kind of situation is he knows that he has wood in the shack that's right behind him.
Yeah.
So what he does is he uses the wood and he goes back to break the shack. So he's replenishing the wood that he uses and making sure he maintains his level of materials.
Yeah, that shows how important materials are in this game, because just if you have like 100 mats, you can outplay someone at some points of this game.
So right there we actually saw a player just shockwaving twice to get away from our player here, Akhtar, I believe. So now he actually connects with a few shots, 38 blue. So that means he does have shield. It's always important to check. So when you shoot your enemy, usually it either pops up in blue or it pops up in white. So if it's white, it means he has no shields. But unless you use a utility like Stinks.
Right.
So Stinks will only do damage to health, it does not do damage to shields. But in this case, you can see, the spraying just coming into effect here. So you can't hold it down, like I mentioned, you can't hold it down permanently over and over again, which means you always want to back away. And that's exactly what that player did. I think you saw it with me as well. So he just backs off and tries to relocate himself so he can't find him, and then you shoot through multiple layers, which means you're wasting ammo and you're wasting time. But you're at least...
How ammo in this game is like... Is it common? Do you get a lot of ammo all the time, or do you have to keep looting from the bodies that you
So it depends on the situation. So most of the time when you have 100 people, loot is more highly contested.
Right.
So when that happens, you only have a certain amount of resources, maybe about 100, usually about you have like 20 shotgun shots and about 100 AR shots if you're lucky. 70 is usually the average that I've seen in most games, because you usually come out of places that are actually quite filled with a lot of players. Very rarely will you find a place where there are no players at all. So you always always have to be ready to engage someone. So we already see him just getting tagged there for about 30. Headshot dink is what we call it. So that's a really nice sound effect when you actually get headshot in the game.
And already
so
3
people
people
see,
down.
that's what I mean. So he's using the shockwave, the mobility I told you about. Now he's trying to pressure, but he's playing in the enemy guy's box. So he can't break this because the other player is just waiting to hold it. So you can see he was holding it nice, gets a nice trap in, and he actually blocks that player off, and he actually takes taken down. So this is why you don't want to W key players when you don't know exactly what's happening, and he's going to use a campfire. He gets all those shockwaves, he gets all that time, all that ammo that he spent, all that time he spent, getting all those resources is now wasted.
Yeah.
Because he had so much match. Look at his match right now on Bottle Cop.
Yeah.
Because,
He
the
just got
other player
everything
didn't
from
use
the other
anything.
Yeah.
So his 800 wood and his 800 brick actually went all the way to Bottle Cop here.
Yeah.
Which replenishes him, and he didn't even use anything. I mean, the other player was just trying to pressure him way too much. And he wasn't playing it smart, he was just kind of running in, which is not what you want to do.
Yeah, so now only 14 players left on the map here, and the storm is closing in, so all the players have to be prepared to start moving towards the circle.
I mean, right now I feel like Bottle Cop is trying to get information, just build into the high ground, but maybe he could have done it without, wasting that many mats. Because he should be knowing by now that there's really no one pressuring him. He knows where the circle is, he knows he's safe, he knows that most of the builds around are his, so he can always just edit a way through and try to get to the top without wasting all these mats, because these are going to be super important when it comes in the next few zones. You see what I mean? Because most of the time, if you don't have mobility, now in this case he has 2 shockwaves, which means he has the luxury of using a few mats at that moment, because he can always rotate into zone without using too many of his mats. Other players will have to actually move on foot, which means they need to cover their sides, they need to build their own path while they're moving. So you can see like this, you can't fall off from a high ground because you'll take actually so much damage, and you can see the glider coming into action in one of those pieces, and you can see all these players are just taking as many mats as they can and making sure they keep control of a certain area, so that way they have multiple options, multiple decisions they can make to approach the game, to see who's coming, analyze that game, and then just kind of figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, so we're back to Bottle Cop here, and he has a grenade. Is that a grenade launcher that he has?
So yeah, he has actually picked up a grenade launcher, which is pretty nice, but
how useful is it? Like,
so
in terms
it depends. You need to know how to fire it. If you don't know how to control the grenade launcher, it's actually really bad. So you want to usually put a ramp. So now you can see him trying to look around, right? So you just put a ramp in front of you and try to. You have to know through experience how far it goes when you launch it off the ramp. Because trying to throw it blindly doesn't always get you the result that you want, which makes it kind of useless to have, and it's just taking up an inventory slot. But if you know how to use a rocket launcher, you can always wait. He actually took damage from someone. He used the stuff as well. So what happened? He took damage from something.
So maybe he was fighting a little bit.
No, because he lost his shields as well, which means someone shot him.
So he's in trouble right now. He doesn't have enough shields.
What I'm going to deduce from what I've seen right now is I feel like he got sniped.
Yeah.
Probably a body shot, which did about 150 damage. That brought him to about 20 odd HP if I'm not mistaken.
He sees people right now.
So he sees people. He can always pressure because he is in zone right now. So like we said, you always want to get into the zone first.
Yeah.
So then you can start pressure. You can see that he doesn't need to worry about rotating around. He knows he has a shockwave. So he knows he's in the zone right now. So there's no reason for him to start moving into the next zone. So because of that, he can start editing windows, looking for information on where these players are, starting to pressure them with the AR because he got almost, I think, 400 ammo
They're
from
taking a few shots, as you can see.
Yes, you can see he's taking his shots, just making sure he's pressuring all these players who are in the zone right now. But what he needs more than anything right now is to find a way to kind of third party and get a kill, so that way he can pick up some heals.
Yeah, but third partying is not the easiest thing to do because right now everybody's trying to play safe. It's kind of like a stalemate where everybody's in their own box / fortress / whatever they're in.
So then that's I don't really like it. You see how he could have just directly gone up. Like he doesn't need to put a floor, he doesn't need to put the all the walls. But that's actually a very nice grenade. He's going to drop the player there, he's going to start trying to connect, he's actually falling all the way down. So he knows that if he stays on that high ground, he can suffer quite a bit. So in occasions like this where you're in the perfect distance, the grenade launcher is actually quite useful. I mean that shockwave is coming in. So he's looking for that opportunity to bring this player down. He's probably somewhere in the high ground. He actually sees him. He has the opportunity. The shot does 100 damage right there. Building up for the high ground right now. I think if I was him, I would kind of slow down and just try to break this player down. You can see how unfortunate it is. He went out of himself into the zone. There, no cover whatsoever. Taking so much damage from that zone. I think if you had just stopped, looked around, he would have known that whole structure where the player who on the high ground was like only on a ramp. So if he breaks that ramp, he can just bring the whole player down.
Yeah, and we see them fighting a little bit more. He's starting to break the structure here.
I think this is a smart move.
Yeah, and the structure is broken, so he's going to be dropping down pretty
But I think that other
Oh.
player would have 100% realized with all that shooting that someone was trying to
There we
break
go.
it, tries to take a shot, does not connect with the shotgun. Once again, going for the shockwave play. We saw how it worked last time. He's taking for shots with the SMG as well, but nothing really connecting. And with that, looks like he will be able to fall to this airdrop. But they can still shoot him and pressure him, but he does manage to get a decent amount of items here.
Yeah, he does get some heals, which is he really needed right now, and he does get that 50 HP shield thing.
So it's called a big pot.
A big pot.
So you have the mini shields and then you have big shields. But
Yeah.
big shields we call it a pot.
A pod.
So
Alright.
it's, yeah. So you can either call it minis. I mean the small one is obviously called minis.
Yeah.
And the big one is called a big pot.
Okay, so then he does get a little bit of heal, doesn't have any extra heals though, so he's gonna be playing a little bit safer right now. He has 1 kill to his name, and there are 10 people left right now, so everyone playing a bit safe. Only
Everyone's just playing for positioning at this point. There's really no reason to take engagements that you don't need to unless you are 100% sure that it's actually worth taking.
yeah,
But you
there's
can
one,
see
there's
you know,
1
how
minute
well
left for the storm to come and close in.
And you can see how well Bottle Cop is kind of just editing, you know, just making sure, because when you edit through a build, you can actually see through it.
Yeah.
So that actually, like, you can't completely see through it, but those days you could. But now it just kind of makes it so it's like you can see it like a blueprint kind of, and you can see through them. So that gives you information. So usually once a brick wall like this is done, you just want to edit it and then unedit it. So then basically you know you can see through it and you have information as you can see on screen right there. So you can see, but the moment he edits something, it changes. Once again, it becomes see-through. So you can see, you know, exactly get the information that you want. And once he unedits it, it become once again, and you can see immediate
nice
31
shot.
damage headshot there. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He seems to be very experienced in the game for sure. You can say from the way he's playing, he's just trying to play for height right now. Not really going too high, but just using the grenade launcher as well. It's going to bounce off. So that's what I meant. You need to know how to use it. The distance is always very difficult to calculate. He might want to opt to go a little higher there, but Bottle Cop is just going to be chilling for the moment.
I think he doesn't want to waste. He feels like he has 2 little mats, I guess, so he doesn't want to waste too many right now.
But that kind of is his own.
Yeah,
fault.
literally. But
Like he
unfortunately,
probably wasted about 300 mats unnecessarily.
yeah, and now you can see him taking the high ground here, trying to position himself into a better place so he can get a little bit more information. We see him take a few shots. He's taking so much damage though. Down to 15 HP.
I think just overcommitting a little bit, just going a little bit too high. If someone decides to break this structure, he really doesn't have anything to kind of, you know, save himself at this moment. And sure, playing for height is great. You can, you know, shoot from high ground to low ground. But with the mats that you have, and not having any resources, I don't think playing the high ground right now is the best.
Yeah, because when you start playing the high ground, everyone starts to target you because you're the one on
Oh,
top.
the junk. Is that a junk rift? What is that? I have no idea. So with that, we see actually Shockwave jumping all the way up. So you can see a few players starting to build into height right there. And if they do have more mats than Bottle Cop, he's going to actually have quite a difficult time. So making sure to reinforce the pathway that he has. But I don't think it's the best idea at this point. But it's the last few zone right now. So
And he gets a few shots. Does 62 damage.
62 damage. He knows that this player still has shields, but he's still in a really bad spot in terms of Bottle Cop. The only thing that's kind of giving him a little bit of solace right now is the high ground.
Yeah, and he has a grenade launcher, which he could maybe use to try and blow up that building, but let's see what he decides to do.
Oh, that's actually quite nice.
Yeah, so
Perfect
good
timing on it as well. He actually sees
does
one
he
of
get
the
one
players.
inside?
He's going to start shooting. The player is getting pressured by the zone as well, so it should start closing quite soon. I think Bottle Cop will die quite fast, to be honest, and it's actually the last 7 players here. So it's going to be a fight for sure in this last bit, but he's maintaining height. He knows there's no player above him, but he needs to kill someone. If he doesn't kill someone, get heals, he's in a world of hurt right now.
He needs a lot more. Oh, he's in. They get the kill here.
I think this is really bad for him. He put himself in a really bad spot.
He
Really
does get taken
heads
down.
up play by the Phantom to put that trap down there, but not doing too great in terms of health himself. We did see him taking about 64 damage, and he needs to try and go down right now, you know, taking control of most his builds that are not even his. But with that, he's running into the
storm
zone actually, and what a heads up play actually. But how much is it going to pay off for him? Does he have anything that he can utilize to kind of survive? I do not think so, because the storm ignores shields.
He is trying. He's just playing for the storm now, and there's 4 people left, so it is a pretty tight battle here. Will he be able to
He's
survive?
looking, but he's probably going to die before he does
Yeah.
anything like that. And next thing we have is ASJDD. So looks like he's quite healthy. I think he made a misplay there. He did not want to place that down, but he does get what he wants. So he's going for... Oh, he actually gets one shot off, but NA Venom with the game. Winning it. Just, having the right positioning and using the right resources. We saw the play, the play was there. He tried the shockwave play, like I said, but, not really working out. And with that, NA Venom coming out on top and guaranteeing his spot through the qualifiers.
Yeah. Alright guys, so that was the Fortnite game. Pretty interesting. We learned quite a few things with the game, and NA
Quite
Venom
a few things is understated.
Yeah.
So with that guys, we're actually going to head into a very, very short commercial break, and once we come back, we'll have more gaming action for you.
මේ අධිවේගී ඉන්ටර්නෙට් මේ සෙල්ටිෆයි සුපිරි අධිවේගයක් පරදා ඔබ මවිත කරවන වේගයක් විඳගන්න පියවර තුනකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා ටෙලිකොම් ෆයිබර් ඔප්ටික් ජාලයට එක්වන්න slt.lk වෙත පිවිසෙන්න
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Woman Ice King. Take a bite and join the heroes.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Inter-School Esports Championship 2019. We just saw the conclusion of a qualifying bracket Fortnite game. So now we are about to head into the first grand finals of team games, if I'm not mistaken, and it's going to be Rainbow Six Siege. And the two schools who have come a long way, I mean Rainbow Six is a new game, but these two teams are putting their time and effort to be here, and they have come towards the grand final. So without any further ado, let me get to introducing team number one. On my right, we have team number one from Aloysius College. Can we have a round of applause for the first finalist team? It's Aloysius College. And taking them on in this grand finals is going to be Zyder College. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Y'all can take your seats and start setting up for the game. So the coin toss and the side pick has already been done, and they will be getting into the game. So until they do set up, we do have a couple of commercials going on as well, and after that we'll be having, if I'm not mistaken, we have Abdul, who is going to be taking you through the play-by-play of the Rainbow Six final. So if you're joining us from home, this is the Inter-School Esports Championship 2019, hosted by Gamer.lk and of course powered by SLT Fiber, the fastest broadband network. If you do not have an SLT Fiber connection, make sure to grab yourself one. That gives you the lowest possible latency to game on. And not forgetting our partners, we have Dell Gaming as our laptop partner, who did unveil their G7 and G5 laptops, gaming laptops, which are really good. It gives you desktop great gaming on a really small form factor like a laptop. And of course, they do have the Dell community that they launched yesterday. So what happens with the Dell community is you get your membership, you are entitled to discounts for all Dell products, as well as you will get invites for their launches and basically product launches, and they will be having Dell organized tournaments. So any tournaments that Dell organizes, you all can enter with your Dell community membership card. And of course, we had Elephant House, our superhero ice cream partner, who came out with 2 new flavors. It was Bubble Gummy and Ice Cake, representing Wonder Woman and Superman. I think all of y'all here has already gone and had. If you all haven't, make sure to try it out. It is extremely tasty. Head on over to the Elephant House stall and get yourself ice cake and a bubble gummy. So we'll be cutting into a short commercial break, and after that we will be back with the Rainbow Six Grand Finals, and this is the Inter-School Esports Championship 2019.
Rada wate eka meka niem esport hit teka happy la palamu kaur the champion SLT Esports Champion pada ka ketaram awat eking eka jaga nawan yeta challenge eka mulai em sarasay game eka hadap no the veni SLT name eka tiwadin samagat karada karana sa puputu kara eka da taranga kara das kam dan raude rada wate SLT Esports hada wate mindful of glory all set high speed connectivity at its best east or west SLT is the best if gaming is a passion you know the rest
SLT
Championship.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Rainbow Six Siege Finals. I'm your caster, Nightblade, and with me is Firzan. Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hey guys, I'm Phantasma, and I've been playing Siege for quite a while, about 2 years ago. And this is the first ever time that it has been on stage.
Yeah, I mean Rainbow Six being on stage for the first time in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
How do you think it's gonna be?
Well, it's actually exciting for me, and as well as for the Siege players over there.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good for the Siege community. They know that it's being done well by GM.LK.
Okay.
So it's really good job.
So what do you expect? Like this game is kind of strategic and it's a shooter game, obviously. So in what terms of excitement does it bring into the game? What sort of watchers need to be there to be interested in this game?
Well, mostly this game is about information. So the people who are watching, they want to see how the players think and how they push and
Right.
their play style. Really, the mechanic in this game is really tough because there's so many angles to hold on. They need patience. So this all matters.
Yeah.
So the players who are watching, they gain more experience from the pro players from Sri Lanka because the standards in Sri Lanka are not yet high for Rainbow Six. So I think the guys who are really good at high ranks, they might be able to give a good fight. And also the guys here, I think the Zaira team, they have a pretty good lineup.
So they have a pretty good chance of winning the tournament, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And we'll watch and
We'll
we'll
watch,
see
we'll
how.
never
Yeah.
know.
So this game, there's a lot of small things in this game, and also, unlike other shooters, this game has something called operators,
Yeah.
where it's something similar to heroes in Dota or champions in League of Legends. So tell me a little bit about the operators in Rainbow Six.
Well, the operators are divided into two categories, the attackers and defenders,
Yeah.
because it's a siege, right? So the defenders are holding their map, the building, and the attackers have to come inside and find an entry. And we are playing the mode, it's called Bomb. So
Right.
there are two sides, Bomb A and Bomb B.
Right.
And those sides also have specific names according to the map.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what they like. So the attackers have to attack inside the objective and try to plant the diffuser.
Okay.
Because they're like the good guys.
They're the good guys.
Yeah, they're like the good guys, but the people who are playing, they don't understand it because they're playing a game, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the defenders are like the bad guys because they're planted the bomb and they're waiting to be destroyed.
Yeah, they're trying to blow up the bomb,
Yeah.
and the attackers are the one trying to defuse the bomb.
Yes.
So it's kind of different compared to other games like COD, because COD, you're the one who's going and putting the bomb and all of that. So it's kind of a different aspect. So operators in this game are, I mean, there are a lot of different operators. There are different operators for attack and different operators for the side as well. So are they the same amount on both sides? What do you think? Are they like the same amount on both sides, the attackers and the defense?
Yeah, they're the same number of operators.
Okay.
Well, I think about 24
Right.
in attack and 24 in defense.
Right.
Somewhere around that. So I can talk about some basic operators. People in the community love Ash.
Ash.
Yeah,
right.
sure. She's from attack.
Okay.
She's a really well-balanced and easy operator to pick on. And they have nerfed her recently. Her main primary weapon, they have reduced the ACOG.
Okay.
Because
The zoom was too much.
yeah, she's too overpowered. So they always rush in and
Right.
try to get the kills.
Okay, and also in this game, from what I understand, is that headshots, no matter what, is one shot, one kill.
Yeah, that's true. It's true because the game it's a fast-paced game.
Right.
Usually, actually you need patience, but when it comes to the last few seconds, it's really fast. You don't know what you want to say
Because
and what
there's
you watch.
so many things you can do.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do, and there are 5v5. So they attack a small place, some small rooms, small
Yeah.
buildings. So it happens quickly. You know what happens. Sometimes you might get team kill because
Yeah.
team kill is there, and you don't get reverse friendly fire. You have team kills, and also you might get a double kill, or you don't know what happens.
It might turn from a 5v5 situation to a 4v2.
Yeah.
You mean like in just a second or two?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit about the maps in this game. So what do you how many maps are there? What are we playing for the bomb specifically?
All right, so there are about 20 maps overall for Siege,
Yeah.
but actually for the competitive gameplay, there will only be 7 maps which are in the map
Okay.
pool. So basically, we have Coastline, Border, Consulate, Cafe, Bank,
one
Clubhouse,
Okay.
and one more other map. I don't
Okay.
remember. Yeah.
So, like,
that's
how
the
does the banning process work? Is it similar to COD?
you mean the map waiter, right?
Yeah. So no, when the two teams on different sides and we're trying
Yeah.
to decide with the coin flip.
Yeah.
on how do they do that process?
So it's more similar to the COD ban phase.
Yeah.
We give a team to ban a map.
Yeah.
Sorry, the toss. So if he wins the toss, that means he's gonna pick the map last.
Okay.
So that
So-
means he's gonna ban second, and
Right,
the
right,
guy who lost will ban first.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, a little bit similar to the COD
College.
genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just talking about the teams here, Zyra College, you said they were a little bit more favored. So what actually makes them, other than experience, what do you think? You've seen a few games. You've been referring
Yeah,
to games.
yeah, yeah.
So what do you think makes them stand out in this in the Inter-School Championship?
Well, they have been playing from a long time.
Okay.
They have the skill.
Yeah.
And they used to play in cafes a lot,
Okay.
because they're my
So your
somewhat-
friends, some
yeah,
of them.
somewhat.
Okay.
So they had that experience, the LAN experience.
Right. Oh, you think
So-
the LAN experience is a big factor here?
Well, somewhat, yeah, because they're playing in a stage and
Yeah.
it's the first time.
True.
So I
True.
don't think that LOCS team has much of an experience in LAN and
So
in
do you
stage.
think, let's say, new players coming into this game, Rainbow Six, what do they need to know before they enter the game? About like, what do they need? Do they need to have a COD background, or can they be new to FPS shooter and start and expect to be good? What do you think?
Well, they should have some background and a LAN experience.
Okay.
But new players, they have to try it out. So
Yeah.
because they always.
What do you think they need to know? Like, do they need to understand that it's going to take a long time to actually get good at the game, or will they catch the game in like a few months? Or
It depends on the. I think it depends on the in-game leader, because
Okay.
in-game leader controls the team.
Okay.
Yeah, so we call it the IGL.
Okay.
So each team has an IGL, and for my team, I am the IGL.
Okay.
So what I do is I control the team. Even if it's a LAN, I tell them to calm down. Let's do this. We can do this. Whatever happens, even if we panic, I try to regroup, so we can take a timeout and regroup. Yeah. So even if
how is the casual players in this game? Are there a lot of casual players, or is it mostly competitive all the time?
Well, when I started playing the game, we used to play casual.
Yeah.
But after 2 months, I felt that casual wasn't competitive enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are a lot of casual players. You can queue a match within few seconds, and you can get a casual match.
Yeah.
But for me, casual is like playing a board game or something.
It's too easy for you.
Too easy. So what we do is play rank. So rank is like our casual.
Yeah.
For the people who play it.
Yeah.
So,
So right now in Sri Lanka, what is like? First, explain the rank system to me in Rainbow Six.
yeah, sure. The rank system has been updated.
Yeah.
Earlier, the rank was from Copper 4 to Diamond, sorry. And now it has been updated from the season update from Copper 5 to Champion.
Champion.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it comes from Copper, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond, and then Champion.
Champion.
So, and there's gonna be champions from 1 to 999.
Okay. So,
So-
only 1,000 players can be a champion in this
Yes,
game.
that's true.
All
So
right.
it's like they're making it more competitive, and
Yeah.
they have removed the beta from the rank. So it was earlier rank beta, now it's just rank the normal.
Oh, now it's properly.
Yeah.
This is a properly structured rank.
Yes, that
Right.
is.
So where are you now on the scale?
Well, I have been playing in my account yet,
Yeah.
because I didn't have enough time.
Okay.
But last time I was Platinum
Okay,
1.
so you're almost there.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
You're actually almost there. That's pretty cool. So actually a really good player. Like
Yeah.
if you take games like Dota, I mean it's really, really difficult to get to the top ranks because there's so many good players, there's so many teams,
Yeah.
there's so many people that are immortal rank or like one of the top players in the world.
Yeah.
And in Rainbow Six is not as new as not as old as Dota, so
Yeah.
there's still time for a lot of players to achieve that champion rank, like
Yeah.
you said. So how much time do you think it would take an average player to get good at this game?
Average player. I would say it depends, because okay, if you say average player without any person's help, it would take around more than 6 months at least.
Alright.
Yeah, because there's a lot of operators, a lot of knowledge you need to gain from. But because if you have someone to teach you, or like some friend of you to teach you, maybe taking less.
Yeah.
But to be a really good average player, average about 8 months.
Right. So then, I mean, if you guys want to learn Rainbow Six Siege, you can ask him. Just ask him; he'll help you out.
Yeah,
and,
you're all welcome.
obviously, we all want to build this community. It seems like a super fun
Yeah.
community. I've known these guys for quite a while, and they really love the game and they want to promote it a lot. So if you
Yeah.
do really want to start experiencing Rainbow Six Siege, I mean, just come talk to Firzan here.
Yes, you
Yeah.
guys are all welcome.
And let's just talk about the operators a little bit. So there's so many operators in this game, around more than 40 plus. So what's your favorite operator?
My favorite operator. I would say earlier in defense it was Ella,
Yeah.
but she was lately been nerfed a lot.
Okay.
her
She's
guns-
just too strong.
She's too strong. You played yesterday, right,
Yeah, I
Ella?
did.
And you didn't like it.
No.
You didn't like it. Yeah. So, yeah. And so now I would say it's Maestro
Okay.
because he has an ACOG.
All right.
So in defense, ACOG is like a really good advantage because you can have long corners.
So most of
angles
the
on-
defense doesn't have ACOG, or do they have ACOG?
Well, earlier, so many two-speed operators used to have ACOG, but
Okay.
they actually thought they saw the community and they found out that it's really not unbalanced.
Okay.
So what they did, because the defenders have more advantage because
Right.
they are already inside
Set
the map.
up, and they
Yeah, they're
have so
set up.
many things set up. Their
Yeah.
walls are in,
Yeah.
So for everyone who doesn't know, in this game there's a preparation phase where you kind of barricade the house and set up traps and do so many different things before the fight actually starts.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the defenders actually gain an advantage over the attackers. So
Yeah.
they're a little bit too overpowered with the ACOG, as you
Yeah,
said.
that's
And
true.
what did you kind of told me there's 2 speed. So what does that mean?
Yeah, so in the game, an operator has a speed and an armor, okay? So if you have 3 speed, the armor is 1.
Okay.
If you have 2 speed, the armor is 2.
Okay.
And if you have 1 speed, the armor is 3.
All right. So it only goes from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Right. And this armor, how much does it really help your operator? Like, do you still die in one headshot? Or
Yeah, you do, but the armor is usually allowing the chance of your injury to be high because you
Okay.
get injured in this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get injured in this game, so the armor actually helps a lot because it's like more like you're like a tank, maybe about a
Okay.
0.1% or something.
0.1%.
I don't know the percentage, but the armor really matters.
All right. So then, when you get injured in this game, like, do parts of your bodies get injured, or
Well,
how does the injury work in this game?
well, he just goes down and he starts bleeding.
Okay.
Yeah.
you
No
able to
part
shoot?
has been no part has been damaged or something.
Right.
Just injured and bleeding.
Okay.
He just
So,
falls
so
down.
you're not able to shoot and all that thing. Those stuff.
Sorry?
You're not able to shoot or use
Yeah,
anything?
you're not able to shoot. You just
Okay.
have to hold F to stop the bleeding slowly.
Right. And here we see on the screen the bunch
That's
of
called
all the
Maestro.
operators. So one by one, I think they're going to be showing the operators now. So, in your opinion right now, what do you think? Oh wait, I think right now we might have a small crowd interview. So I think I'm going to send it over to Azman right now. Azman, over to you.
All right, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So right now, this is a part of the arena that you haven't seen yet. So this is where most of the action has been happening. You guys have been catching most of the games that have been happening on stream. So this is the playing area inside of the lovely Stein Studios. You can see currently, I believe this is the 3rd or 4th round match that's happening right now for Call of Duty. Then on our left side, we actually have a League of Legends that has kicked off today. So we'll be having the grand final. So that also very soon. We're currently going through the 2nd and 3rd round games. So you can see they're creating the lobbies. They're trying to get into the games. So there is still a lot of action, even though it's still the 2nd day. And with that, we saw the conclusion of a few of the Fortnite games as well. We went up to 4 rounds. And I believe we saw a really good game where NA Venom actually came out on top. We actually casted that game as well. So with that, we're going to see whether we can actually catch up with a few of the referees and see how things are going and how things are progressing in terms of the tournament. So we'll just head a little bit back. So with that, you can see the playing area as well. So we're just waiting for most of these things to get underway. So right behind me, we have the Fortnite section. Then once again, we have another 4th round Call of Duty match that is happening. And then with that, we also have the Rainbow Six Siege Grand Final that's just about to happen. So before that, we'll catch up with one of the head refs for Fortnite. His name is Tenuka Dharmaratna. So he actually gave a really good presentation for Dell as well. So Tenuka, how are you?
I'm good, Asman. How are you doing?
So how is the proceedings for Fortnite going so far?
So far, so good. I've seen a lot of new talent, so many good players. Very interesting to see different play styles and stuff as well. Yeah.
So what do you think it is like? So give the viewers at home an idea of what it is like trying to handle 148 participants for Fortnite.
No words can actually describe the feeling. But it's fun. It's loads of fun, yeah.
So what is your take on the players that play on controller and that players that play on PC? What do you think is the main difference? Do you think that any of them have a certain type of advantage, or?
I mean, that's actually something that I've thought a lot about, because I've also thought of whether I should play on a console or if I should play on keyboard and mouse. I feel like both have the pros and cons, whereas I'd say like on PC it's a bit easier to build and edit, whereas on console you have that L2 spam that everyone loves. It's a love-hate relationship that people have with it. Yeah.
So just explain about L2 spam. What do you mean by L2 spam? So just for the viewers at home who don't know.
So coming from a PC player, L2 spam is basically where you have no skill, you just have to spam the button and you get auto aim.
Alright, so other than that, of course, so there's actually a lot of new players who have joined. And so basically, what do you think about the event so far? I believe this is the first time that you are actually currently a part of Gamer.lk and helping out as a referee for Fortnite. So you've been to Inter-School before as well. So what do you think is the biggest difference you've seen in this year compared to last year?
Honestly, the turnout. A lot of people and the scale that this was done at. Super impressive by GLK, like at Stein Studios, and it's going to be on TV, I believe. So big stuff, very impressive, yeah. Hats off to GLK.
Yeah, so what do you think would be something that you would like to implement that maybe can take this from the high level that it is already to an even further height?
Concerning the entire event or just Fortnite or just the Fortnite segment?
Okay, so in terms of production, what do you see that has changed from last year to this year?
Honestly, in terms of production, there's a lot that's very different. And whereas I'm concerned, I don't really expect anything more from GLK, because every year GLK, in my opinion, they always just do bigger and better, and they make sure they take care of the gaming community in Sri Lanka. And like I said, hats off, man. Yeah.
So just before we wrap up with your part of things, a few more questions that I want to ask you. One thing was, I don't think anyone from your school is actually taking part in this thing. So who do you think would be your top 2 picks to move on forward to the grand finals of this event?
Schools-wise?
Yes, school-wise.
I don't have top 2, but I have what I think, and I think it's Gateway.
So only Gateway?
I feel, yeah.
Any particular reason that it's Gateway?
Honestly, I know that people say quality over quantity, but in this case, I'm going with quantity. Just how I see it.
Okay, so quantity is the reasoning that Tenuka is actually going to choose with Gateway. But before we say farewell, so any predictions for Fortnite before we finish?
No, man. Keep building, keep shooting, keep screaming, keep tunneling. Let's see how it goes.
All right, thank you so much, Tenuka. So that was Tenuka Dharmarathan, ladies and gentlemen, from Fortnite. So just after this, we're going to actually catch up with some of the referees from Call of Duty and see how that proceeds as well. So I believe we have one of the referees from Call of Duty as well. Hello, ඉතින් පළවෙනිට ඔයගේ නම පොඩ්ඩක් කියලා ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරලා කියන්න මේ කට්ටියට මෙතන අපේ Call of Duty games කොහොමද යන්නේ කියලා.
මම දිලන් සලමන් මේ ටිකේ නම් round 4 වෙනකන් අපි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මේ දැන් යන්නේ round 4. round 4 එකේ පළවෙනි match එක මේ side එක යනවා. මේ side එක යන්නේ round 3 වල finals. එතකොට දැනට ගහන්නේ Royal College එකයි මහානාම College එකයි. ඒක තමයි දැන් තියෙන තත්ත්වය.
ඉතින් ඒකත් එක්ක මේ ටීම්ස් කීයක් හිරියද Call of Duty වලට?
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ටීම්ස් හිටියා 80ක් විතර ඉන්ටර් ස්කූල් එක වෙනතට වඩා සෑහෙන ප්‍රමාණයක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන්.
ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ටීම්ස් 80ක් මැනේජ් කරන එක කොච්චර අමාරුයිද කියලා ඒකෙන් කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලන් මැනේජ් කරන්නේ කියලා පොඩ්ඩක් අපේ ගෙදර බලන කට්ටියට පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න කොහොමද ඒක වෙන්නේ කියලා.
GLK එකේ ස්ටාෆ් එකයි අපේ රෙෆරිලා සෙට් එකයි ඒකේ තියෙන එකමුතුකමත් එක්ක තමයි අනිත් එක ඉස්කෝලේ ළමයි එන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ්ලි කට්ටියත් එක්ක අපිට ගනුදෙනු කරනකොට ලේසි. එතකොට ඉතින් අපිට මැනේජ් කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඒක.
හරි ඉතින් දැනට මම හිතන්නේ වගේ සෑහෙන ගේම්ස් ටිකක් මෙතන දැන් රෙෆ් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒකෙන් ඕට ස්ටෑන්ඩ් අවුට් ඒ කියන්නේ මේ උඩින් පොඩ්ඩක් හොඳ ටීම් එකක් හැටියට පෙන්නන මේ ටීම් එකක් කොහේ හරි ඉන්නවද ස්කෝල් එකෙන්?
මහානාම කොලෙජ් එකෙන් ඉන්නවා ටීම් එකක්. එතකොට ටීම් ආනන්ද ඉන්නවා ආනන්ද කොලෙජ් එකෙන් කොළඹ වල. ඒ ටීම්ස් දෙක දැනට උඩ තත්ත්වක ඉන්නවා.
ඉතින් මම මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් කලින් උත් ඇහුවා අපේ තෙනුකගෙන්. ඉතින් මම මේක ඔයාගෙන් උත් අහනවා. ඉතින් ඔයාට මේ සැරේ මොනවද හිතන්නේ තියෙන ලොකුම වෙනස අපේ Inter-School Esports Tournament එකේ?
Inter-School කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඉස්සර තිබ්බ කල්චර් එකත් එක්ක අර ගේමින් කියන සයිඩ් එක ස්කූල් සයිඩ් එකෙන් අයින් කරලා තිබ්බේ. එහෙම ඊටපු කල්චර් එකත් එක්ක මේ වගේ ලොකුවට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් SSG තරමට වගේ ප්ලේයර්ස්ලා ඉන්නවා මේකේ. කියන්නේ ලොකු ඉම්ප්‍රූව්මන්ට් JLK එකේ ලොකු ඉම්ප්‍රූව්මන්ට් ඒක තමයි ඉතින් තියෙන්නේ හොඳට.
ඉතින් ඒකත් එක්ක ඉතින් ඊළඟට අපි අහන්න තියෙන්නේ දැන් අපි අලුතින් අපේ ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එකෙන් අපි රීප්ලේස් දාලා තියෙනවා. ඒකත් එක්ක පික්චර් ඉන් අපි ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන්ස් එම හදලා තියෙනවා. වෙනම අලුතින් එම ග්‍රැෆික්ස් වගේක් හදලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවා ගැන ඔයා මොනවද හිතන්නේ? ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි අර ප්‍රොෆෙෂනල් ගේම්ස් එම බලනවා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ලෙවල් එකට ගේන්න පුළුවන් වුණා කියලා ඔයාට හිතෙනවද? නැත්නම් ඒකට තව ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්?
අනිවාර්යෙන්ම පුළුවන් JLK එකේ මේ යන ගමනත් එක්ක අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ප්ලේයර්ස්ලාට තියෙන සපෝට් එකත් එක්ක අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒ ගමන යන්න පුළුවන් අපිට.
හරි ඉතින් ඒකත් එක්ක අන්තිමට ඒකට අපිට අහන්න තියෙන්නේ ඕ හිතන්නේ මොන ස්කූල්ස් දෙකද ග්‍රෑන්ඩ් ෆයිනල්ස් එකට යන්නේ?
කොඩ් වලින් දැන් බැලුවොත් නම් ටාගට් එක මහානාමයි ආනන්දයි තමයි දැනට යන විදිහට.
මහානාමයි
ආනන්දයි.
ඉතින් එක්කෙනෙක් ගේට්වේ ඔය මහානාම නැත්නම් හරි ආනන්ද. හරි එහෙනම් මම කියන්නේ රොයල්. ඉතින් මට ඒක කියන්න වෙනවා. ඒක කරන්න නැහැ. හරි thank you so much අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා කතා කරාට. So there you have it ladies and gentlemen. So that was the referee for Call of Duty. So managing 80 teams is never ever easy for any one person to do. So that is why as a unit GLK gets through everything, even managing 148 Fortnite players. But let's not forget we're talking about 80 Call of Duty teams. Each team has 5 players in them, which means so every 2 teams you have 10 players, so that is a lot of people already set up. I'm sorry I'm not very good at maths, I'll give you the exact number, but either way that's a lot of people. It's not easy to manage, making sure everyone comes on time, they get their games done. And we initially started the initial rounds as MR6 where the first 2 teams, you know, the first team to get to 7 points actually got the victory, but now it's actually gone back and now it's MR12 where the first team to 13 wins. So with that here on the left side, you can see the drafting phase for League of Legends actually happening. So I'm just going to move a little bit to the left so you guys can see. So we are actually seeing the drafting stage just kind of finishing up. So we have Jax being picked up, a Kane being picked up. So the thing about League of Legends as a game is I recently picked up the game and I really enjoy it. But what I really enjoy about the game is one certain thing, and that's one hero that I really love, which is going to be Riven. So Riven is one of those heroes that I really enjoy playing. League of Legends is someone I've been like trying to master. It's never easy because the main servers for League of Legends are on EUW. So because of that, it is about 150 ping, which is never easy. So you know the teams just getting ready to play that game is never ever easy. So now you can see all the communication coming in from the players from Call of Duty as well. You can see all of them so focused. They do not want to lose it. So he said this was a round 4 final game, which is very important because all these schools are fighting for one thing, and that is the trophy that is there in the front. So alright, so with that, getting confirmation, so I'll be handing over the proceedings to Abdul because we do have the Rainbow Six Series Grand Finals about to start. So without further ado, Abdul, over to you.
Thank you, Osman. We're back and we're in the game now. I mean, it's time for the Rainbow Six Finals here.
Yes, it is.
And how much pressure do you think these players are feeling right now going into these finals?
Well, it's their first stage match.
Yeah.
Well, there's been quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And how much do you think the nerves are going to really affect their gameplay? Because I tried this game. It's kind of, you know, it's not easy. Of course, you know, if you do, the maps are not easy to learn. You have to learn the maps. Obviously, you can't just get into it and expect to be good.
Yeah.
But the thing I found very hard was that it takes so few bullets to kill.
Yeah.
And if they headshot you, you're dead. I
Yes.
feel like that's such a hard thing. So, do you think nerves will really affect your gameplay on stage?
Yes, it does. A lot. Because,
Oh, and here we're in the banning stage here,
Yeah.
and we see Jackal being banned here. So Jackal, I think
Jackal.
one of the more powerful
ban.
heroes.
Yeah.
One
It's
of
a
the
common ban.
Yeah, it's a common ban. One of the better, not heroes, my bad, operators.
Operators.
Very used to Dota.
It's okay.
But
you just
Jackal
gotta
being
decide.
banned out, and then Gridlock.
Gridlock. Yeah.
So Gridlock, actually don't know too much about that operator.
Yeah, well, she's a new operator. She came out in the Burnt Horizon season. She has some track stunners as an ability. So she can put them on the flanks or else use it for the plan. It's like more like a barbed wire system.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can allow, it does a small amount of damage on the defenders and it makes a noise. This
Okay.
game is dependent on noise.
Right.
So it's really useful.
Ooh, and we see Mira being banned out and Kavira. Wow. I actually wanted to see Mira and Kavira in this game, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, they have been banned out, and Mira being the one with the one-way bulletproof gas, right?
Yeah, that's true. So we won't be seeing a lot of Mira strats because we can talk a lot because of Mira.
Now,
Yeah.
Mira is that one hero that can secure the bomb site really well,
True.
and it's really hard to break her defense.
Yeah, it's not really hard because if the walls below and above are soft, you can do vertical push
Yeah.
using buck or sledge,
Yeah.
and you can get the mirrors down.
Okay, okay. And now we see the operators that have been picked up. It's going to be, I think this is the 6th pick phase
Yeah,
for both the
this is
teams.
big phase.
Yeah, so how important do you think this phase is in general?
Well, the 6-pick phase, before I come to the 6-pick phase, there's a review phase where the enemy team can see what the enemy side has been picked, the
Yeah.
operators,
Yeah.
the meta, what they are using. So the 6-pick phase will allow them to counter to the operators they have picked.
Right,
Yeah.
so they can get specific counters,
Yeah.
and both teams get a chance to do it for
Yeah.
one person.
For one person from
Right.
each team. Yeah.
All right, okay, and we are into the prep stage now for both the teams here, and tell me a little bit more about this map here.
All right, so the first map is Border, and they're gone for the side in the second floor, which is Armory Lockers and Archive. Yeah. So this side is most commonly picked by all the defenders, nades or stuns or smokes to become inside. Because people don't see the door.
The action phase, my
And
bad.
we see visual where Tyler Nairo, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, 5v4.
Legion was injured, right?
Yeah.
But Hibana does not actually know that. And he finds it out.
All right.
Because the level in the tournament.
All right.
So usually players in rank find that they corner, they show it.
But here,
So
since
they don't.
it's competitive, oh, see the shot, nice
That's a
shot
really good
coming
shot.
out from Teddy.
It's a 3v1 situation. Yeah.
Oh,
So Zahira gets the first round.
yeah, that was a pretty good round. Openings in this, and we see a little bit
Well,
of
now Rocket
kills as well on top of that, and we see, oh, Luxia getting another kill onto, getting the Twilight, like...
But I think Twilight Knight did the best damage he could.
For sure, he did a lot that round, but it's still going to be a 3v2 now. A little bit of an advantage going to the defenders here. See how this round plays out. I think everyone's just playing a little bit more defensive. So many things happen so quickly that everybody wants to kind of talk to each other. What do we do now, guys?
Now the attackers are really...
Windows, I felt like. And they went in one by one. I felt that was the issue there.
Yeah, but what I would have done is, if it was my team, I would have sent someone to drone in and find out that there was someone, and then get it.
Oh, another
that's a nice
pick
kill
by
Luxia.
Luxia. Yeah, he's bringing this back. It's 2v2 now.
Yeah.
Luxia getting those picks that he needs to win this round here. And we see IQ.
Actually, IQ gets spotted there because of the lesion mine. Oh, he's remaining.
Will be able to hold here.
Oh, no!
That was actually so
That was
close.
close.
That was really close there.
Well, they had the advantage because it was a 2v1.
Yeah.
If it was 1v1, I think...
Yeah, he would have probably got it there, but a really good play comes from Twilight Nitro in that round, getting 3 kills and... checking to see if anyone was there.
Communicate with the team. Okay, I'll get this guy. Get the diffuser down.
Yeah, especially when they have a numbers advantage at the same time.
They
had a numbers advantage and they kind of rushed it a little bit, and because of the rush, they kind of broke apart. Yeah, and unfortunately, they do lose that round, and it's 3-1 in favor of Zyra College right now. And to my knowledge, how many do you need? Do you need 4 match rounds to win?
The match point is at you win it at 7.
At 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Zyra gets to round 7, they win the game. I mean,
all right. So you can see the prep phase again from both the teams here.
Yeah, and we're back to the second floor side. And also Zyra. So they will swap after the 6th round.
After the 6th round.
Yeah, they will be the most easy operator, and
everyone likes her.
Everyone likes her.
Yeah, and and what is that weapon?
Banner pellets. Okay. So you can put it on the reinforced walls, destroy and get a line of sight. There you see.
And we see a lot, looking through all the openings, trying to get a pick as much as we can. We see the drones being used as well to get more information about where the defenders are standing here. And it just looks like a little bit of a standstill. I think the attackers are prepping their strategy for the round here. Going through the area they need to go, checking their corners, not rushing too much here. What will they do?
Well, we see that Doc is on the roam. Chaos is really confident that he could roam, but he's actually roaming with a 3 armor guy with 1 speed. Usually roamers are
really fast.
They should be fast.
Yeah.
So, all right, we do see Gunmaker there, but the Ash, but he couldn't detect the Ash, and Ash gets the kill on the pulse. Yeah. But finally, oh my God, that's another frag by Gunmaker.
Gunmaker gets a double kill there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, falling apart here. 5v2 now.
All right, Nomad is going for the plan.
Will they go for the plan? Will they be able to kill them off here? Yeah. Laser Knight goes down to Teddy here, and there's only 1 remaining. And they rush him, and he does go down.
It's a flawless round.
Getting the kill.
Yeah.
I mean, they played that pretty well.
Are down. My teammate is down. So that does not should happen. So, he said if by entering, he might go for...
Sets the pace of the game, usually. So these lurkers are very... Do you think they'll be able to catch off this lurker before he gets the pick off? This is a little bit different. It is still different to... a little bit difficult to attack here, since even though they do have a little bit of an advantage. If they do have a decent strat, though, they can take Zyra College down, even though it is 5-1 here.
I see someone going from metal stairs. They're coming up, an attacker. Maybe they're trying to get off. Yeah, it's Zofia. He's on the metal stairs, and he's trying to push in, but the ADS just gets the grenades off. So he's been exposed, and he's trying to get the barbed wire. Maybe